Greetings, humans. Professor Aurelius Ignatius Bott here. Today, we're going to explore how fashion choices have quite literally shaped, and sometimes ended, human lives throughout history. From deadly dyes to killer crinolines, these aren't just fashion faux pas, they're genuine historical disasters. Let's dive into some of the most dangerous trends that prove fashion can be fatal. In the 1800s, humans were absolutely obsessed with a particular shade of green. Scheele's green. This vibrant emerald colour was achieved using arsenic. Yes, you heard that correctly. Victorian women would wear these poison-laden dresses, slowly absorbing toxins through their skin. But it wasn't just the wearers who suffered. The dressmakers who crafted these toxic garments often fell ill or died. One particularly famous case was a young woman who literally glowed green with perspiration while dancing at a ball. Now that's what I call a fashion statement. The most ironic part: the colour was so popular that even after people knew it was deadly, they kept wearing it. Talk about dying for fashion. Picture this. It's the 1850s, and fashionable women are wearing enormous bell-shaped skirts supported by steel hoops called crinolines. These metal cages could reach up to 6 feet in diameter. But here's where it gets dangerous. These fashion statements were essentially giant fire traps. Between 1850 and 1860, approximately 3,000 women died when their crinolines caught fire. One tragic incident occurred at a church service when a woman's crinoline caught a prayer candle. She took out an entire pew of churchgoers with her. And if fire wasn't enough, these metal cages also had a habit of getting caught in carriage wheels, factory machinery, and even strong winds. Some women were literally swept off their feet, and not in a romantic way. Early 1900s, men's fashion took a rather strange turn with extremely tall, stiff, detachable collars. These were nicknamed Father Killer collars. Why, you ask? These fashionable neck prisons were made of starched linen or celluloid, starched so severely that they could restrict breathing and blood flow. The celluloid versions were particularly dangerous. Not only could they choke their wearers, but being made of early plastic, they were highly flammable. Imagine a collar that could either choke you or burst into flames if you stood too close to a cigar. Contemporary newspapers reported numerous incidents of men fainting from restricted blood flow to their heads, particularly in hot weather or crowded spaces. One account from 1892 described a Philadelphia man who collapsed during a summer church service, with doctors citing his tight collar as the cause. The most bizarre part: these collars were considered so essential to a proper gentleman's appearance that men continued wearing them despite the risks. Some collars could be up to 3 inches high. As my analysis suggests, humans will endure remarkable discomfort in the name of fashion. The Elizabethan era, when having a pale face was all the rage. The most popular makeup of the time was Venetian ceruse, a lovely mixture of vinegar and lead. Queen Elizabeth I herself was an avid user, creating that iconic white-faced look. But this trendy makeup literally ate away at the skin, caused grey hair, rotted teeth, and eventually could lead to death. The more women used it to cover their deteriorating skin, the worse the damage became. A rather vicious cycle, wouldn't you agree? The most ironic part: many of these women thought they were following a health regimen. The thinking was that if the old skin peeled away, new, better skin would emerge. Spoiler alert, it didn't work that way. In the 1920s, radioactive materials were all the rage. People didn't just want to wear radium, they wanted to glow. Companies produced watches with radium-painted dials, and the women who painted them would lick their brushes to get a fine point for detailed work. These Radium Girls, as they became known, would even paint their nails, teeth and faces with the radioactive paint to glow at parties. They were literally lighting up the dance floor, and their internal organs. The tragic aftermath led to numerous deaths and helped establish workplace safety regulations. Sometimes it takes a fashion disaster to create positive change. But before you humans get too comfortable laughing at your ancestors, let me remind you that dangerous fashion trends haven't disappeared. Those distressed jeans you're wearing? Many are made using sandblasting, which can cause serious lung diseases in workers. And don't get me started on the toxic dyes still used in fast fashion today. Well, humans, I hope this journey through fashion's Hall of Shame has been enlightening. Remember, the next time someone tells you that fashion is pain, maybe don't take it quite so literally. This is Professor Aurelius I, reminding you that sometimes the hottest trends can have the deadliest consequences. If you enjoyed this historical fashion disaster review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And remember, in the grand catwalk of history, sometimes the deadliest accessory is ignorance.